Welcome to the Wayward Garden. Today we're taking on a new challenge. We're going to build a stable inside a portion of our pole shed. Right now, the plan is for this to house sheep in the spring. We're looking at getting a multi-purpose breed this coming spring, and we're fortunate enough to have a warm break in the winter weather, so we thought what better time than now than to get started on the project.
62.
63.
And these are 56 and a half.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a 5-inch. There's going to be a 5-inch difference on these if we do a half cut.
What we could do is fill more cement in.
But then it's not going to be as sturdy.
True.
There's another 4x4 post over there. In order to reuse what we have, we're going to have those be a little bit shorter.
Yeah, this one's 86.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so it's gonna have to cut too.
So we're only going to get 3 more good ones.
So here's what we're planning. We have a few 4x4 posts that we're going to cut in half, and then we're going to cement these inside concrete blocks that have been recessed into the ground. Oh, don't worry, nobody was hurt here. We're doing it this way for a couple of reasons. We want to be able to reuse as much as what we have on hand, and we want to be able to expand the stable in the future should we need to. So far, the only expense we've had for this project has been for the concrete. We got it at $10 a bag and we bought 6 bags. You'll see how we're getting the blocks in position and then digging a little less than half the height of the block. The intent here is to give them a good footing that won't bend over when pressure is applied. Once each stacked block is seated, we're going to go back through and add in the concrete. We'll add the concrete on both sides of the block with the 4x4 seated on just one side of the 2 holes. Remember how I said it was winter and we were having a warm spell? Well, that doesn't necessarily apply to all of the ground. We've been lucky so far that not too much of the ground has been frozen solid, but as luck would have it, the area that we need to dig a deeper post in for what will become the gate is frozen solid. So to solve this, we've been busting up the dirt to dig into
I don't
it.
think that was a good idea.
We finally got the last footings in and the concrete poured, and now we wait a day for it to cure. And overall, it's looking pretty solid. Now comes the part where we start to build out the side panels. We're actually using old barn wood that was left. When we bought our homestead, it came with this wonderful old picture of what the farm looked like through the years. So we know that at one point there was a big beautiful barn. We suspect it was taken down sometime around the 80s or 90s, but the old wood was kept. It seemed appropriate to reuse the wood here, since our goal is to try to bring livestock back to the farm. Because we're working with bits and pieces of everything and there's not a lot of uniformity to what is available that we're using, we're rough fitting everything in, and then once we find pieces that fit well, we're cutting them to size. This is the part where we really start to see the project coming together quickly. So far, we've still only spent $60 on this project. The only items we've purchased are the new bags of concrete. Technically, there's still some money in the screws and tools, but those were things we already had on hand. One of the great things about homesteading is you often have to use a lot of ingenuity to piece together the things that you need from items that you already have.
How high up?
I think that might be a little too high. Go down, 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 down. The idea I want is for them to be able to stick their head through so that, like, because I'm sure that the kids are going to want to pet them, you know?
Yeah, this isn't going to
But not jump it. So yeah, actually maybe up a little bit now that I think about it, because their heads are going to come through that middle part. Yeah? Okay, yeah. Maybe, hang on, maybe even like a inch higher? Yeah. No, actually too much. Okay, yeah.
One 2x4. This is big. Not enough. Oh. Nice.
Exactly.
You know, 48 and 3/4, but 48 door.
Okay.
That's good enough. 48, and I want it to be probably, let's say, 4'6". 4'6" right to here. A little bit space off the ground so I don't hit.
Yep.
4'6", 4'4".
Now we build the gate. We're using more scrap pieces to build the frame here, and then stapling a piece of leftover fencing on top of that. Then we're screwing on another frame, so it's basically a fence sandwich. We're being careful to overlap those pieces and then screw them in, making the fence overall more sturdy. Here's a good example of what that finished overlapping is going to look like. When creating a gate, you want to have your diagonal piece go from the handle diagonally downward towards the hinge. You're going to see in this video where we actually messed this up the first time. We went back later and fixed it, but I wanted you to know that the sturdiest way to do that is to have your diagonal piece going from your handle space downwards towards your lower hinge. We got pretty lucky on our hinge set. We found it at our local hardware store on clearance for $7. So that's where the other $7 comes in the overall expense of our project. $60 for the concrete and $7 for the hinge.
You need to go higher, right? So you're artificially pushing it out a little bit before screwing it to make a gap so it has a good swing.
Yeah.
That's clever. I would have thought to do that.
We got lucky in the hinge set that we found. It's actually a soft closed hinge, and you can see here where we're testing it, and the gate isn't closing quite right. We ended up adjusting the hinge from the bottom side and just tightening the screws in the bottom side of the hinge, and that caused the gate to have more tension, and then it would close on its own.
Kind of. Might be too heavy.
And now we add on some finishing details. The hinge kit also came with a self-closing latch, so it's just a process of lining things up and screwing them in. Overall, I'm really happy with how this project turned out. We're finishing up the last of the panels here, and this is just to deter any potential jumping out and to give it an overall more finished look. Once spring comes and it warms up a little bit, I'll be back out here giving the panels a fresh coat of white paint. I'm really excited that we finally have a comfortable space for livestock, and sort of nostalgic that we're able to bring back the old barn wood back to its original purpose. If you haven't already, click that thumb icon and subscribe so you get to see what's next on our homesteading journey.